Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Geekonomics. We're back in studio after a short hiatus for life and things. Brian's here. I'm here. Brian's got the laptop with all the information, all the things we're going to be talking about today.
Yes.
And so much more.
I know. We had a snowstorm last week. That's why we stayed home.
Yeah. No, I know.
This year has been flying by. I can't believe we're now we're going to the end of February.
Approaching March.
I know. And I'm looking forward to spring. So
Yes.
we're almost there.
We're almost there. But before we get there, something's coming up in just one short week.
Yes.
A week from Sunday. Yes.
This Sunday.
A week from this Sunday.
Well, it is this Sunday.
Oh, is it this Sunday? Right?
Yes, it's not I'm like, a week? No, it's literally this Sunday.
There you go.
Mark.
It's even quicker than I thought it was.
It is this Sunday, East of the River Comic Book and Collectible Toy Show, February 25th, which
that is
this Sunday.
Yes.
From 9
is my dad's birthday.
Oh,
so that's why.
From 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's going to be held at the American Legion on Route 5 in Enfield, Connecticut.
Yes.
2 floors. Comics, toys, video games, cards. Local artists will be there.
Yes.
It is a cheap, fun afternoon for the whole family.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Brian will be there.
I'm going to have a lot of new stuff.
You could talk to him about stuff.
I added just under 100 new comics into my selling collection.
Wow.
And these are all newer comics that came out last year.
Wow.
So, and I'm selling them no more than $3 a piece.
Everything must go.
Yeah. Like, I was
price to move, as they would say.
Price to move. I was like, the older stuff, yes, I look up to see what their values are, and I try to make a good deal. But this is newer stuff, and I'm just like, I just need to move it. So nothing is over $3.
This is a show that if you're looking to complete a collection or complete a run of a series, this is the show for you.
Right. Totally.
Not just because of Brian's booth, but the other vendors as well.
Yes. I'm going to have a few new things at my booth, which I'll just say here if anybody is interested. I have a big pin, pins you put on jackets or whatever.
Yes, those are what pins are, yes.
Well, you could think pins like push pins.
Who would sell those at a shop?
That would be fun, I guess. I don't know. Make
a penny a piece.
Yeah.
Push pins.
I will have really cool pop culture pins, which push pins. Pop culture push pins.
I think you quarter market there, Brian.
I know. That's next.
You got yourself a $1 million idea. You just threw it out there live on the podcast. Pop culture push pins.
Funny thing is,
like they have those cat butt push pins. Claire loves those.
Yes.
So you can get superhero ones. You can.
I have
officially licensed.
The Office push pins.
See, there you go. They're probably out there. They probably do have them actually.
Yeah,
now that we're talking about it, but still, you can get superhero butt push pins.
Don't want
This is America's ass.
This is America's butthole.
Yes.
It's like
America's
Spider-Man.
Butt. No,
Spider-Pig.
Wasn't it?
I know, Captain America.
Captain America.
So anyway, I got a bunch of pins. Now, enamel pins I had way back in the day, and those things sold like
hotcakes.
Hotcakes. I got a bunch more, so I'm gonna have a bunch of those.
Wow. Josh is excited. I can sense it. He loves pins.
Yeah, people love pins, and I'm going to be selling them at a pretty good price,
He's a pin guy.
It bothers me when I go to a show or anything, and people are selling pins, and they're like $10.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I've seen it anywhere from $5 to $10, and I'm like, that's too expensive. I'm not gonna. They're going to be under $5 a piece.
Price to move.
Price to move.
That should be the name of your. Change the name of your. There's this.
BK Toys.
Price to move.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope we get to see everybody this Sunday. So it should be a good show, Mark. Are you going to be there?
Make you move.
You haven't been to a show in a while.
I don't know. I had to talk to Matt Ryan, see if it's going on. He's been anti-help lately, so.
Well, I mean, his table is small.
Yeah.
But the following Sunday, we have Manchester.
We do. Which, depends upon,
That's the show that's the busiest for him. I know that much.
Yeah. Because that one he's actually doing caricatures and stuff at. So that one usually is a little bit more. Where he needs more help.
Right. So
Scott's show is just me just hanging out.
Yeah.
Basically.
So it's 2 shows in a row. We got this Sunday and the following Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll talk about Manchester next time.
Next week.
Next week, it's gonna be busy, baby. And then we have D&D the day before.
Yeah. So you'll be ready to go. You'll be prime ready to go.
You know, I'm gonna be so tired. We better not play until like almost midnight, like the last time.
And more than likely we will. We do every night, every time.
Well, usually we're done by 10, between 10 and 11.
Where have you been? That's never happened.
But the thing is, we clean up.
Yeah.
We chit chat.
Jibber jabber.
Oh God, I'm gonna be so tired Sunday.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a long weekend.
Yeah.
So anyway, Mark, that's what's going on. How was your week?
It was good. It was good, yeah.
You watch anything worth of note? You catch anything?
I did. I'm trying to remember what it is now.
You went to an event?
I did go to an event, but I did watch. I watched a movie, but now I can't remember what it was.
That's a sign of a good movie.
No, it's just because it was like one of those things where I randomly watched it, and then I was like, oh yeah, and I just like moved on the rest of my day. I can't remember what it is. It'll come to me though. It was just the new movie that just popped up on something. I don't remember what it is now.
All right. Well, just
That's annoying.
Yell it out when we're.
This happens when you get older. You forget what you did last week. No, I actually in Springfield they opened up a new music venue. The Springfield Performing Arts Ventures organizes it. It's 52 Sumner, right on Sumner Avenue in Springfield. They had their first event.
Wow.
And they put out on their Facebook page a band that I've been thinking about asking to come on the Equilibrium TV show was a part of that first event. So they were giving away tickets. So I just randomly just put my name in and ended up winning. So
How was
won
it?
2 tickets. It's a very nice venue. They converted an old church
Oh, wow.
into a music venue. So it's already acoustically
Sound.
yes. So it's very well done there. And they actually had 2 bands. They had the opening act, so to speak. The bassist of 413's dad is a part of this group that's putting on the organization. So, of course, that's the connection between the two. And he was in the first band. Moses Allo, I want to say the name of the band was. And they're like a cover band that like used to play like Jimmy's and Yard and all those kind of places.
Yeah.
Captain Jimmy's, like that kind of thing, like that circuit. They like play a lot of Pearl Jam. So that was kind of neat. But the 413s are really good. They played the Big E last year, and they play around that area as well.
Yeah.
Springfield, Agawam area. So I went there and ended up talking to the band, and they're booked to be on the show later this year.
Wow. That's exciting.
So, yeah, so now we got 1 slot left on the show for the year, and we're
Wow.
completely booked.
That is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah. I mean,
I got some ideas on who I want in that slot, but it's just like figuring out scheduling and such.
Right. Well, I mean, we're recording as of this show. We're recording this week.
We are.
A
We got
band.
recording Wednesday.
Yes.
Tomorrow, actually.
Yes.
Is Wednesday.
Yes, tomorrow.
Yeah. Private Language is
Private
the
Language.
guest.
They're pretty good. I've been listening
Yeah.
to their
Yeah, they are.
EP, Teeth.
Yeah. They're one of the bands. They're one of the 2 bands that reached out through Facebook when we first started getting the word out about redoing the show and looking for bands. So it's kind of exciting. Like last month's band, Illuminous, was the same thing. They reached out. So it's kind of neat. These are like the 2 bands. And we just had another band that reached out, and they're coming in September. So
Wow.
yeah.
Crazy to think you get almost the whole year booked.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of nice, though.
It is. It's kind of nice to have it done.
Yeah.
I'd rather have it like I learned this back when I had the kart racing series, that I wanted to have everything completed before. Like I always try to get the season like sponsors and everything done before the season started,
Yeah.
and have everything mapped out so that way when the events happen, you don't have to think about anything else but just the
Right.
event happening.
Right.
It's
Totally.
kind of like with this, like I was kind of like thinking about that same thing with the booking of the bands. I want to get them booked as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So that way they're there and done, and I don't have to think about that. Because I'm not like thinking about, oh man, I got to get May taken care of, and
Yeah.
it's March,
Right.
and it's like trying to find a band or rushing around to find a band. So
Yeah,
it's nicer
yeah.
to have it all taken care of.
It's exciting. And I know before the show today, and we might have mentioned this, and I'm not 100% sure, but ETV is on the wax.
Yes.
And we might have mentioned this.
We mentioned it was coming. I don't know if we mentioned that it had started.
I don't think we
Yeah.
have. What are the days, the times? Thursday nights?
Thursday nights at 10 o'clock.
See, originally it wasn't a Sunday night at 10 o'clock or something like that.
It was going to be Mondays at one point.
Right.
But then it ended up being Thursdays at 10 o'clock.
Thursday at 10
And there's a possibility of us in the springtime getting a second air time.
Nice.
So it might air twice a week on the wax. So,
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
And all the information for the wax is on the Equilibrium.
Yeah. It's if you're in
Facebook
Connecticut
page.
and you live in Connecticut, you can get it any kind of way. Like over the air. It's an over the air channel.
Cox,
So if you have like an
Comcast.
antenna, if you're in any of the places that have cable, you can get it.
Yeah.
So there's tons of ways you can get it.
Yeah. And you can watch Equilibrium TV right on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Yep. There's a YouTube right through the Facebook page for
Right. And
Equilibrium TV. It's there.
went through and I cleaned up that YouTube page.
I noticed. I would end up do something, and I was like, wow, a lot of stuff that used to be on here is not here anymore.
I privated a lot of things
Yeah.
that have no reason to be there.
Yeah.
And
Well, at one point, it was our only YouTube page.
one point it was, and believe it or not, this is a little behind the curtain stuff. When we worked at Stafford Speedway,
It was Stafford Speedway's YouTube page.
No, it was ours, and I started the YouTube
Yeah.
finishers.
No, I'm saying it, but yeah, that was the.
And I would post it up on our YouTube page.
'Cause that was the only place that they didn't have
and
their own
Stafford
YouTube.
didn't have
Yeah.
one. And then when I left Stafford, they created their own
Well,
YouTube
we actually, I think
page.
it was while you were still at Stafford, we created a YouTube page because we were trying to sell YouTube to them.
Right.
They didn't understand what it was. It was that long ago.
Yeah, but then
YouTube had just basically started. It was like
We-
2006.
yes, YouTube had just come out when
Yeah.
we were working there. So what happened was
Which is crazy to think about.
yeah.
I know there's people out there now that are like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, at one point, there was no YouTube. You actually had to like watch stuff on a television screen.
Right.
You couldn't just get it on your phone randomly.
So for 2 years we had all these Stafford for 1 year we had Stafford videos, but we also had
Champion
the
videos.
2 years worth of Champion videos.
Yeah.
And that's where this stuff lived. So I
Yeah.
privated all that, and it's just exclusive ETV stuff.
Yeah.
And then I went through painstakingly went through all the videos and make sure the thumbnail looks good, make
Yeah.
sure the metadata looks good. Also, I don't know why we did this, but a lot of these videos, when they were uploaded, they had bars and tone in the beginning. And I'm like, oh my God, why?
It might have been, if it's a full show kind of thing, it might have just been that's how we had to submit them back in the day.
Yes. Not on YouTube, though. That was for
No,
broadcast.
but I'm saying we would just, instead of
Right.
re-editing them for YouTube,
Yeah.
we would just put the show because it
Yes.
was on a tape.
And the great thing is on YouTube, you can
These are all
trim
main
that
DV
all
tape.
out now.
Yeah.
You can trim out the top, anything you want. So I trimmed all that stuff out.
Because back then you had to put 30 seconds of black, 30 seconds of color bars
You're right.
at the
Yes.
front of it
Yeah.
for programming reasons.
So anyway, our YouTube channel is looking great.
Yeah.
I think it looks more uniform. It, I think it's a little bit more.
There's a lot of stuff on there.
people-
There's a lot of like,
Yeah.
and I think about it all the time when I go back and look. Like when I first started thinking about bringing the show back, I went to the YouTube page and I was like, well, let me just go back and see what we used to do and see if I can get the motivation to do this again. And seeing the old bands that we had on there,
Yeah.
like, and there's even some comments of people that like Reverend Horton Heat is one of them that like, there's no video. There's hardly any video of them live
There's a
in
lot.
existence.
Well, you can. There's
No, I know what I'm
tons of
saying, but
videos.
like commonly available. Like people don't even like people have said like, and some of it, and they even said like, it's one of the better versions of them. Like people
Yeah.
have comments on there saying that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some other bands that you wouldn't like,
Bowling for Soup.
Bowling for Soup,
Yeah.
Shiny Toy Guns, twice, two different versions of them.
Yes. Yes.
Like
I-
local bands that don't exist anymore.
Yes. If you watch the B-Sides and Rarities episode, we do.
Yes, we do an in memoriam segment for all the bands that had passed away.
I watch that all the time, and
Yeah.
it cracks me up. I'm going to try to get some more full episodes of older shows that are not up there. But there's a lot of clips, bands. That
well, a lot
we
of
did.
songs that we did individual. Like you used to cut up the shows individually into
Yes,
each song.
to promote the show on social media.
Yeah.
I used to put them up on MySpace.
Yes.
And our YouTube page.
Yeah.
And at the bottom, you see a lot of MySpace.
Yeah.
Oh God! I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why did I clutter it up with
Yeah.
all that garbage?
Yeah, it's funny because Claire and I were just watching kind of the things we were watching, talking about that. We started watching the 2010s. They started putting out
Oh boy!
on the Max,
Oh wow!
and they have a whole like episode about social media and everything. It was so
MySpace,
funny.
Friendster.
Yeah. Friendster, all those. And I was like, wow. And they like TV shows and then the music. It was like, wow.
I gotta watch that.
Yeah. It's worth it.
I'll have to check it out.
It's like crazy. It's like a very weird time warp, those shows.
Because we lived through it. It
Yeah.
just feels like yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It feels like it just happened.
Yeah. And then especially when they put like years on things.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, God.
We're old.
Oh, that was so long ago.
Right in the old hip.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when we went to the Zentuck, I would go into the computer lab between classes, and a bunch of people would be in there.
Yeah.
And if you turned around, everybody was on MySpace.
Yeah.
Because back then, MySpace wasn't on smartphones.
And everyone had Tom as a friend, whether you want him to be or not.
Yeah, everybody was on MySpace.
Yeah.
Posting.
Yeah.
And it was more of a computer thing than a smartphone thing. Because at the time, not
Yeah, yeah.
everybody had a smartphone.
That even Facebook at the time
Yeah.
was only on your laptop, like
Right.
on your desktop.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you couldn't get it on a phone because
No.
they
But it
didn't
just
had to
showed the
convert it.
addiction that the moment we got into a front of a computer, the first thing we went to was MySpace.
Yeah.
It's crazy. How
Yeah.
times haven't changed, have changed.
Yeah.
Do you remember that movie you watched?
It'll come to me.
All right, all right. Anything else, Mark? I got a few things before we get into our hot topics.
Oh, Claire watched Barbenheimer for the first time.
I should watch Oppenheimer and Barbie?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'd saw Barbie in the theater,
Wait, I was about to say.
but
you
she'd
guys-
never seen Oppenheimer.
Oh, Oppenheimer's fantastic.
Yeah. So she finally watched that, and she said it was good.
Yeah. Alice and me, she watched it. I watched it for my second time, and she really liked it. And
Yeah.
it's still one of my favorite movies of last year.
Yeah. Oh, it's a nominated movie too. What the heck?
The Flower of the Moon.
No, I won't watch that one.
Why?
I don't know.
Based on a true story.
I know. I'm just not like
Scorsese.
not a big Leonardo DiCaprio guy. I don't know.
Okay.
That's one of those things.
We all have those people.
Yeah. It really bugs me now that I can't think of it.
Well, let's not leave dead air, shall I?
No, yeah. Feel free to jump in.
All
and
right,
start talking about what you've been up to.
I got three things, real quick.
That you've been up to? That you did?
Well, for watching, I can recommend. I started watching him in the middle of. It's on Peacock. It's a Mike Judge's new animated adult show called In the Know, starring Zach Woods from Silicon Valley and The Office, and it takes place at an NPR radio station.
Okay.
It's very funny, and it is claymation. It is claymation, but with real people mixed. So, if you remember back in the day, Space Ghost, Coast to Coast,
Yes.
he would interview real celebrities. Well, In the Know, Zach Woods plays one of the hosts, and he does these interviews.
Remember it now.
And they're real people.
Yes.
Like on a Zoom screen.
Yes.
Very comical, very good. Highly recommend it. I'm in the middle of it. And Mike Judge, he nails the humor on this, and he actually plays a really funny character in this. But anyway, I'll let you go.
Yes, I remember the movie.
Was a movie.
Next Goal Wins. Taika Waititi directed it.
Yes. Yeah.
The soccer movie.
Yes. How was it?
It was not terrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible.
I heard it was just
yeah.
okay.
Michael Fassbender,
Yeah.
Elizabeth Moss is in it. Will Arnett is in it.
I know it's an underdog story.
Basically, everyone who is in Our Flag Means Death is in it. Mm-hmm. So, like, literally, I'm watching the movie. I'm like, oh, hey, there's Annette. Oh, there's Zach. And then, oh, there's.
Yeah.
So it's very funny. It's
Yeah.
very like if you're into Our Flag Means Death, which I know we both are.
Yeah.
It's a funny movie in that sense because
What's it on?
It's on Hulu.
Oh, I'll have to check it out. Then.
The big heavyset guy, who's the I can't remember his name in the show.
It's fine. I know what you're talking about.
He's like Samoan looking.
Yeah.
His character is very hilarious. He plays Ace, and he's a very soft-spoken character. Mm-hmm. He's like, "Oh, hey guys, how's it going? Hey, doing a great job, everybody." It's hilarious because if you like know his character from the other show,
Yeah.
and the other guy the main guy from Our Flag Means Death is in it too, and he's very schmarmy and hilarious.
Oh, nice.
And
Yeah.
Taika Waititi plays like a weird priest,
Yeah.
which is pretty funny.
Yeah. I mean, I like his sense of humor, his
Yeah,
sensibility.
it very much has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
So if you're into that, then it's a good movie.
Yeah, I heard it was good. Just good. It was just
Yeah.
like a fun little thing.
Yeah, it's a
Nothing
fun little like sports movie.
Yeah, I'll check it out this week then.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to that, so
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you for
yeah.
letting me know.
Yeah.
I will check it out.
Yeah, it was a random Hulu find and just popped up one day. I was like, oh, hey, I've been meaning. I was kind of interested in that when it was talked about as being in the theaters, but I wasn't going to spend the money to go to the theater to see it, but I'll watch it for free.
And that's good enough for me.
Well, not for free, technically, because you're
Yes.
paying a monthly sell. It's a streaming
I
fee,
got
but
you, Mark.
yeah.
I got you. I'll check it
Yeah.
out. So thank you. I'm glad.
Yes,
it's
I'm
out.
glad I got that out of my brain because that would have bugged me all day if I
Yeah.
hadn't. Thank God, that's a earworm I didn't need.
Yeah. So in the know, recommend a lot. It's if you like Mike Judge, you'll like it. So this weekend, Allison and me have just been flying through these shows we've been behind on. So we had finished the whatever show we finished last week. So
Fargo?
we're like, no, that was a couple weeks ago. But we're like, what should we watch this weekend? And so we watched on HBO Discovery. There was the Jared Fogle documentary
On Max?
on Max.
Yes.
It's
Claire said it
three-
was very, very weird,
okay.
and she felt dirty afterwards.
Yes, totally. Jared
To
Fogle
the point where she was like, why did I watch this?
is a monster.
Yes.
The people associated with him are even worse monsters.
And she felt like, the thing was like, I remember
It
her.
dragged on though.
Yes. Her saying that it took forever.
Yes, to get to
and
it.
And it made you feel worse the longer you watched it.
Yes.
But you wanted to see how it ended.
Yes. Because I didn't know everything that happened.
So it just like, she felt like literally came upstairs and took a shower afterwards because she's like, I gotta just get this off my.
yes.
It's like you just feel like ick
It is
after.
it's a docuseries that's 3 40-minute episodes, which
Yeah.
could have been told
In
in
one
an hour and a
60 minute,
half.
yeah.
Yeah. And the big thing is the first episode, the woman, this radio talk show host who goes undercover
Yeah.
to really get this information.
Yeah.
And she, the thing is that first episode, she just constantly goes, and then something big happened, and then she
Yeah.
excruciating detail about mundane things.
Yeah.
And me and Allison are like, just get to the point.
Yeah.
I will say the last episode really reveals a lot. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know. I knew he was arrested, obviously, for
Yeah.
what he did.
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't know that these people around him
Yeah.
were like even worse.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy documentary. If you want to feel dirty, you do feel dirty afterwards.
Yeah.
I put it up there with when I watched the Michael Jackson documentary.
Yeah.
It's just gross.
It's like Claire's like, you should watch this. I'm like, no.
No.
You just told me about it, and
Yeah.
I feel dirty just thinking about it.
Yes.
I don't want to know anymore.
Yes.
I don't need to know anymore. I'm good. Thank you.
So 2 shows that Allison, my wife, and myself were like, let's get into.
Yeah.
Was True Detective was coming to an end. We're like, let's watch that. But then we have Paramount Plus / Showtime until March 4th. And I'm like, well, I really want to watch The Curse with Nathan Fieldman and Emma Stone. So
Oh, yeah. Okay.
we started watching it. Allison's like, I'm out. We watched 2 episodes.
I'm out.
She goes,
I'm out.
yeah.
Wow.
She basically said, Brian,
This is you.
this is all you.
This is all you.
It's an A24 produced show.
Yeah.
It's very out there.
Yes.
And it is cringy on purpose.
Yeah.
It's about these 2 realtors who have a show on like the
HGTV.
Yes. And very weird things are happening, and their producer is trying to turn their show into like more of a spectacle,
Yeah.
but they want to really be part of the community.
Yeah.
There's a curse, odd things happen. It's right up my alley.
It's like one of those, like, it feels like when I saw the trailer, like the ad for it, it's like one of those, Emma Stone did this so she could do this kind of thing. Like, she was like, if you front me money for this project, I'll do this other project for you, kind of thing.
Oh, no, I don't know what.
It might have been either way. Like, she might have been like, this is what she wanted to do, and there were some other projects she had to do for that. But it seemed like a really weird, like, why is Emma Stone in this kind of thing?
I mean, she's really good. They're
I know
both
she
really
is.
good.
Yeah, she is.
They're
but
both
it's kinda
really
like
good.
a random.
It's a good. I like it. I just gonna have to watch it by myself.
Like no one's like I don't think it's I heard anything about it since.
It was talked about when it was airing.
Yeah.
It's also on Showtime. Showtime doesn't really have the
It's a very weird.
gravitas as like HBO or whatever.
In the 2010s show, they talk about Showtime and like the birth of like
cable TV.
cable. Like yeah, but like HBO doing shows and like HBO had been doing shows, but like the bigger stuff happening.
Yeah.
On HBO, and then like Cinemax and Showtime coming on with
Yeah.
shows, and all these other networks starting to do their own like
Right.
full on put shows. and
Showtime
things.
has had some winners, but it's not
Like, they
as
have like Homeland and
right.
The She and different things like that.
They've
But it's just
never had
very
anything
weird.
big.
It's been very like they're very strange. It's like I was like at least at the Claire. Like don't think like when I think television shows like good television.
I don't think Showtime.
I don't think Showtime.
No, me neither. But
Like Yellow Jackets is a Showtime show.
yes, that's another show. I was like, should we watch that? And I go, there's a new season coming out next year. And Allison's like, let's just wait. All right. So anyway, 2 episodes of The Curse. I like it. I'm going to continue with it. So then we started True Detective season 4.
See, Claire did the full on go to the beginning rewatch.
We weren't going to do that.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
She
but
she did that, and she was like, "Season 2 was terrible. I don't know why I rewatched it."
well, I would never rewatch season 2.
Yes.
Season 4 does connect to season 1 in some ways.
That's
which
what
is,
she said, yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
As a whole, I think it was a great season of television. Honestly, we don't regret watching. Jodie Foster was amazing. I think the story was really cool, very interesting. Takes place in Alaska in the nighttime during the months where it's completely dark,
The half the year where it's dark,
and like
that vampire movie.
yes, like the vampire movie. And it's really good. The season finale.
What We Do in the Shadows is in
Yeah,
that
on
movie.
Sunday. So we watched literally everything this weekend, and we watched the finale that night.
You watched all 6 episodes?
Yeah.
Were you surprised when you got to the 5th episode and was like, "Wait a minute, there's only 6 episodes"? Because Claire was really annoyed by that.
Here's what I will
She's
say.
like, "I could have swore there was 8. There's always 8. Why
Yes.
is it 6?"
I feel like the season finale could have been 2 episodes. It was a little rushed. There's some parts of the unveiling of some things that don't sit
Yeah.
well with me. Some things do.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. I don't think it was atrocious by any stretch of the imagination.
Well,
I
that's
still
clear,
thought it
but
was a
I don't know
good
if
show.
She wouldn't know this. She said she didn't know this, and she was like, "I figured you would know this." I'm like, "Why would I know? I don't watch the show. How do I know this information?" She's like, "Well, look it up." I didn't want to, so I didn't. But I thought you might know.
Why didn't she look it up?
Well, 'cause I thought you might know.
What?
Was the reason why it was only 6 episodes because of the strikes, or was it just they decided to do 6 episodes?
I have to assume that's just the way
No.
it was. Because don't forget, the show was probably in the can already. It started in the beginning of January.
Because she said this is a very odd thing that they'd only do 6 as
Thing is
opposed to the 8.
it's just the way it was. I don't think there's anything big about
Because
it.
she said the same thing. Like, why would you just knock it down to 6 when you definitely needed the extra 2 episodes to complete the story?
I mean, the last episode does a great job. I just kind of felt it was just, for me,
well, she said the same kind of
It
thing.
could
Like,
have
the
had
ending
a
could
two-parter.
have been dragged out longer.
It could have been.
And could have been explained more and could have developed better endings to things.
I mean,
If they'd done at least 7, she said they probably could have.
yeah, I mean, I feel like the last episode could have, for me personally, I talked to, me and Alice have been discussing this last episode all weekend, and she didn't feel that way, but I did. I felt like, well, they could have stopped it at this point and then, gave us a little bit more.
Yeah, Claire said like even stuff in the season they could have stretched out more to fill up the 8 episodes.
I mean,
Because there's some things that kind of just like sped through, kind of.
yeah, needless to say about the episode count, I don't know. All I know is it was definitely better than season 2. I think season 1 and 3 are my favorite. I think this goes up there. This is in the middle. I think it would be like 1, 3, 4. Season 2 was the bottom for True Detective. I like when they lean into the supernatural. I really do. This is where I don't want to spoil anything or ruin anything for anybody because I still think it's worth watching. is I just wish they leaned more on the supernatural in that final episode.
Do you want it? Do you want it that way because it makes you more X-Filesy?
No, but it was very X-Filesy. They took everything that everybody loves about
Claire's on the other
season 1.
side of it. She likes the first season more.
Well, the first season dealt with the same kind of the cult,
but it wasn't as
it was a little bit more
supernatural.
grounded.
Yeah,
but the end of this season kind of grounded a lot of things.
Yeah,
it wasn't as supernatural. There is still supernatural elements, and it's connected to season 1 with some characters and some of the things they deal with. So
Claire's really trying to get me to watch season 1 because I haven't seen any episodes of this show ever.
Season 1 is amazing.
I know. I just don't want to I'm like, I don't
Why?
have any inkling to want to watch this.
What? You're so stubborn.
I just don't it's like, ugh.
Well, then don't watch it. It's fine.
I'm not gonna it's a series.
Anthology series.
Yeah.
You don't have to watch anything more.
Well, like you said, the other seasons are connected.
No, they're not. If you are a fan of True Detective and you've watched all 3 seasons, you watch season 4, it's Easter eggs. You go, oh, that's good for the person who's watched. You kind of have a payoff.
Season 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you've never watched season 1, it's not going to change anything.
Gotcha.
For
So
you.
it's all it's along the lines of the American Horror Story kind of situation.
Yes.
Maybe I'll watch season 1.
I think personally, for
And I love Woody
anthology,
Harrelson.
yeah, dude, Matthew McConaughey,
Matthew
Woody
McConaughey,
Harrelson.
not so much my favorite.
Yeah, but they're
I
both.
put him in that same genre as Leonardo DiCaprio.
They're
in my
both
books.
fantastic. For me,
I'm just saying, for me, I put Matthew McConaughey in the same class as Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay,
I just don't.
that's fine.
They don't do anything for me.
For my money, True Detective is still. I'm still glad they're doing it. I'm glad we got a new season. I like the setting. Jodie Foster and company were fantastic. There was one. I put this in the chat. Eccleston, Doctor Who's in it.
I heard this.
Chris
yes.
Eccleston.
I was
Christopher
meant to ask
Eccleston.
Claire about this
There's
because I thought that'd be weird myself, not because of who they are,
yes,
but also
it's
because of who
very
they
much
are.
who they are.
But I'm saying, but
It's very
because
much who they are.
Jodie Foster's
Lesbian.
yes,
Yeah, you can say that word.
yeah. Well, I meant her lifestyle.
Yes.
I was gonna say
She's also an actress who
Yes.
plays characters
I know.
who may not be lesbian,
Yes,
Mark.
but
That's
she's
how Hollywood works.
very. Just her personality doesn't
No.
seem like
No.
something you'd want to.
Her character has
through that.
some loss, so she, instead of dealing with that loss, she goes through a lot of these relationships, and she has this relationship with someone in the show played by Christopher Eccleston.
Is it because he looks like Dan Wilkinson?
No, they have a moment.
Because Dan Wilkinson.
No,
does look like
don't
Crystal
talk
Eccleston
about
a little
him.
bit.
Nobody knows who he is. Don't talk about. Listen, they have coitus. It was like the most cringiest thing I've seen.
Coitus makes it even better.
It was very cringy. I turned to my wife and I said, "I feel like
get you going?
we just witnessed watching 2 people who just had sex for the very
There's
first
also no
time."
chemistry. If there's no chemistry, it doesn't help either.
Dude. It was just.
I mean, there's
God, why? I don't want to see
randomly
that ever
thing
again.
to that too.
It was
Like
very funny.
in movies,
Yeah,
when they do have to have those scenes.
yeah.
If there's no chemistry between the 2 people,
Well,
it makes it a lot more awkward to watch
yes, but
than
also
if at least the people if they have an actual chemistry between the 2
this
of the
wasn't
people.
a romantic
No, what I'm saying, but just in
coitus
general.
interaction.
In general.
This was
It's always weird to watch people. I
Yes.
don't like watching sex scenes in movies.
You know, we could talk about the sex scene.
It's weird.
As I'm now approaching middle age, it's weird. You know, when you're in your teens and 20s, you're like,
oh man,
there's
look
a
at that.
sex scene.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Because
no.
you're not getting any.
That's not even it. Now, as an adult, I'm like,
I mean,
these sex
for me,
scenes.
that's what it is. I'm just saying.
All right. Well,
Back when I wasn't getting any, it was like, oh man, look at that. Now it's like, oh, I don't want to see other people doing stuff.
now the sex
I'm
scenes.
like watching myself do stuff.
Well, the sex scenes now, just sometimes seem forced, or they're always in episode 1 of a lot of these shows, and then they don't ever happen again. And I'm just kind of like, well, why did they even do that? Like, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. There's no purpose, and I get it. You're in love. I don't need to see it. It's not. There's no reason for it sometimes. That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's all. This was very cringy when I watched it.
Yeah.
Anyway, True Detective, I enjoyed it.
But Dan does look like Chris Eccleston. You have to admit that.
The final episode,
not a
either
bad thing.
you're going to love it or you're going to hate it. I was in the middle.
Yeah.
I enjoyed some of it. I didn't like some of it, but I'm glad it existed. So that's my review of True Detective Season 4.
So if you see like a random man that looks like Chris Eccleston in South America, it's probably Dan.
Nobody knows who that is.
Well, I'm just saying, there are people who are out there who might know who Chris Eccleston is. And if they see a man that looks like him out and about, and it's not Chris Eccleston, it's a good chance it's Dan. Go up and say hi.
They look nothing alike.
I mean,
This is very weird. Bobby, if you're listening, please text us and let us know what you think.
yeah, because everyone knows who Bobby is.
Well, he listens to the show, at least.
Someone does.
Yeah.
At least we have one listener.
We have one listener.
We have one viewer, and we're very happy about it.
Anyway.
We do this show for us.
Anyway, we have two things that
It's
happened.
therapy. Yes.
Two things that happened. Let's
Two
talk
things that
about the Fantastic Four cast
before we get into that,
announcement.
I remembered as you were talking very longly about True Detective.
Well, you kept sidetracking me with everything.
Well, because I didn't want to hear about it anymore.
Oh my lord!
I did for the show, for you, the listener, and the viewer at home.
Stop!
I tortured myself by trying to watch episode 1 of season 2, of which honestly is the worst television show in the world, Halo. I got 20 minutes in, not even 20 minutes into it.
Mark, nobody cares about Halo.
This
the show
is the worst show ever.
Nobody's talking about it.
It's painful.
I will be amazed if it even gets to season 3.
The
I think
acting
it's
is
done.
painful. The storytelling is painful.
Why? Nobody cares.
Like, you'd think you're
It's over.
doing the elites, like the elites are going to be in the first episode, that it would look cool and neat, and it would
Yeah.
be worth watching and make it interesting.
Yeah.
They get to the point and the elites show up, like all these elites show up, and they fight a little bit. They don't even you can't even really see them. It's all in fog, so all you see is their swords. Like, I literally started looking at my phone. It was that boring, the show. And then, they get to the part where, the elites got Chief beaten down and on the ground.
You're bringing our show to a
And then the
halt
elites just,
about talking about the show.
and then they
that
just
we're
walk
never gonna-
away. And they show,
I
that
don't know.
random girl that was from the first season that, is with the Covenant.
Yeah, nobody liked her.
And it's why are we still doing this? Did you not read the newspaper articles and the articles that were written
Quan.
about the show?
Quan.
No, not that one. The other girl, the blonde girl that was with the Covenant.
Oh,
That was
Mark?
raised by the Covenant.
I pushed all my information on the Halo TV show out of my mind so I can have all the good stuff in my mind. So I got rid of it. I deleted it all. I don't
Yeah.
remember a damn thing. It's gone.
Another thing that irks me, I'm going to throw this out here. This is a general thing. Not just for that show, but just in general for streaming shows. If you're going to start putting commercials into these shows, I had this during watching Gen V, which I think turned off Gen V for me as not being as good as I thought it was.
Why?
Because I would
The
have liked it
commercials
more.
were only in the beginning.
No, not for everybody. For me, they popped up randomly during the episodes.
See, for us, it was only in the beginning.
See,
and then
but
we
for
never
me,
saw,
it
we
was
never,
randomly during the episodes.
we never
And they
saw
don't make the show
well, for
to
commercials.
have ads in it.
No.
So it just randomly stops in the middle of a scene,
Yeah.
goes to an ad, then it comes back, and it misses a couple seconds of the show. So you miss a couple seconds, and it throws off the
When we
storytelling.
watched the Kevin James stand-up special, we got ads in the middle of the stand-up special.
Yeah.
But when we watched Gen V, we only got the ads in the very beginning.
Yeah.
That was it. We never saw
See,
an
now
ad.
they're putting them in the middle.
I don't know. This
It
is
doesn't
why.
work.
This is why we're not gonna renew
It doesn't work.
Amazon Prime.
I mean, if you're gonna put ads in, that's fine.
Well,
But make the shows or format the shows in a way where you can have ads in them. Don't just make them don't film them to not have ads and then force ads into it. Do like you were saying, put the ads at the front.
yes.
Put ads at the back. Do it like that way. Or make me sit through 3 minutes of ads at the very beginning so I don't have to sit through ads during the middle of the show.
There is a class action lawsuit that is going against Amazon charging for ad-free Prime Video is unfair. This happened last week. Amazon sued over Prime Video ad, class action lawsuit.
But if they're
So
being sued for it, how can they not? How can these other places do it?
The thing is, what Amazon, other places made tier systems, and they said, okay, this is what we're doing, okay? And you're going to get a warning. You either sign on to these new plans.
Or add the extra money to your bill or whatever.
Amazon, basically, you just got a pop-up that said you got to pay an extra $3 now if you don't want ads. And they charge you separately for it. And there's a class action lawsuit against Amazon Prime. I don't know if they're going to win or not.
Yeah.
But basically, they're accusing Amazon of false advertising.
Hidden fees.
So we'll see how this goes. But
Yeah, that could be a big thing.
it could be. And I am not going to give them an extra $3. And I just refuse. I'm
Yeah,
done.
it takes away from the watching of the shows.
Yeah.
Like, it's just my thing. Like I said, it's like if you're going to do ads, that's fine.
Put them in the beginning.
Put them in the beginning or
I'm fine with that.
structure the shows in a way where there's ad breaks built into it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, if it goes to black, put the ad there.
Yeah.
Don't put it in the middle of a sentence.
Don't put it in the middle of a thing where it is
Yeah.
in the middle of like a story happening or a pivotal point of the show.
You could be like someone's doing a monologue, emotional monologue.
Here's a
and there's-
15-second ad for detergent.
Let's talk about the big news that dropped. Let's go positive. I'm very excited for this. The Fantastic Four. We got a cast announcement
We did.
by a Valentine's Day card for
That
Fantastic
was what we
Four.
did get.
It's gonna star
It
Vanessa.
dropped while I was at the Yankee Candle with my wife, celebrating her birthday / Valentine's Day.
There you go. All right, here. Let me give you the cast, and
Yes.
we'll discuss. We have Vanessa Kirby. We have
She's playing the Thing.
Yes,
Yes.
she's playing the Thing.
Yep.
Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things. Eddie, baby.
Yes.
Very excited.
He's playing Johnny Storm.
Eben Moss Bacharach, right? That's his name?
Yes.
Is it really?
No, but that's fine.
Eben Moss. It's Eben.
I don't know. The guy from The Bear, the cousin.
Yeah, Eben Moss
Cousin from The Bear. That's all I call him.
Bacharach.
Yeah, he was in Andor.
I know him from The Bear,
Yeah, but he's also in Andor.
but he's a fantastic actor.
He's a great actor. He's playing the Thing.
And Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic.
Yes.
Very exciting news.
Yes.
I love this cast. I loved how in the Valentine's Day ad they had the robot from the cartoon.
Yes.
/ comic book.
Yes.
And I love the 70s feel.
Yes. I'm hoping it takes place during that time
I
frame.
really think it's gonna.
Does that make more sense?
Yes. Yes.
Because then you can establish them as being a thing. And then they just
Right.
kind of just appear again.
I think.
And I'm hoping they put them in, because I feel like this is what they're going to do. This is how they're going to get their get out of jail free card that they're using. Like the Deadpool movie. It's taking place in a different universe.
Multiple. Because
Yeah. And they're
it
going to
looks like
gradually,
Deadpool has to kill a bunch of people, and
Yes.
Wolverine being the stickler and all
Yes.
of those.
And that they're going to they're gradually doing this to bring people over into the big universe.
Well, at the end of Miss Marvel, we already saw that they broke through a barrier and they were in a different universe.
The Marvels.
The Marvels.
Yes.
And Beast was there,
Well, that was the X-Men universe, yeah.
which Fantastic
Yeah.
Four
and her
is part of.
mom is another.
Right, an X-Men. But
X-Men.
Fantastic Four is kind of part of the Fox universe
Yes.
that came
So that's
over.
why I think that's what they're doing. That's how they're going to bring the Fox universe into the Marvel universe.
Yeah, no, honestly, this casting was perfect. I think this is very smart on their part. I'm rooting for MCU to get back to where
Yeah.
it was.
And now we're just waiting for who the villain's going to be.
And we know it's going to be Doctor Doom.
I know, but who's going to be Doctor Doom?
I don't care. I think as long as...
I care.
It doesn't matter to me.
Like the guy from Nip Tuck, not the best choice
It
for
could be
Doctor Doom.
anybody. It just has to be good.
The
That's
guy
all
they
I
had in
want.
the other Fantastic Four movie, not the best Doctor Doom.
You know what, though? They have done very well, needless to say, about the quality of the movie sometimes, but I will say the casting has always been on point. I can't really name any time. I can name one time that we all kind of were like, that's a weird, when we got the singer playing Thanos' brother. That was the only time I ever questioned.
Harry Styles?
Yeah, that was the only time I ever questioned. And we'll never see him again.
Well, who knows?
It was one of those endings that happened.
Yeah.
It was a fart in the wind. But
Yeah.
beyond that, they've been really good.
Yeah.
I feel like whoever they get Doctor Doom, I'll be fine with. I don't think they're going to mess
There's
it
a very interesting interview with Canale, who was in Eternals. He played one of the Eternals. Kamel.
Nan and Johnny?
Najani, yeah. On one of those podcasts. The guy that from Smallville
Yeah.
that has his podcast.
Yes, I watch it all the time. It's really good.
And he does the interview with him about the Eternals and his thoughts on why Eternals didn't work. It's very interesting.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, they go very deep into it. Like, why didn't it, like, it was supposed to be like the next Avengers and it did nothing.
Well, it actually did
why?
well. It critically did not do well.
Yes. Yeah. Why did it not work out?
It did do well box office wise,
Yes.
but critically it is one of the worst critically MCU movie.
Yeah.
I think that, and unfortunately
Which is depressing too,
the
because
Marvels
it had a
is now
lot
the lowest.
of stuff in it. Like a lot of connective tissue was in that movie for the bigger Marvel universe.
which they never touched upon again.
No, I know, but that's what I'm
A
saying.
Celestial comes out of the Earth, nobody
Still
talks
sitting
about
there.
it. Nobody
Still
talks
sitting
about
there.
it. Yeah,
hanging out of the Earth. Black Knight, Blade,
nothing.
Nothing. Never
Everything.
mentioned again. Like you're talking about the Harry Styles as
Nothing.
Thanos' brother and the sidekick.
You wanna
Patton
know
Oswalt
something?
as the sidekick.
If you go back,
All that disappears.
you watch all the after credit stuff, stingers that in the phase 1, 2, and 3 that led to something.
Yes.
4 and 5, we've had tons of those. They've all led
Led to
nowhere.
nothing.
We've never seen these people again. Nothing's happened.
Yeah.
This is why people are frustrated.
Yeah.
because it's not the
Like
MCU.
Shang-Chi had connected to Doctor Strange and he didn't show
Nothing.
up at all in Doctor Strange.
No, I know. We all thought that would have been.
Wong went somewhere, but no.
That hasn't paid off.
Like
the Wong
what?
stuff has not paid off.
What?
We know we're going to be getting the movie with whatchamacallit, the other group, Juliet Dreyfus.
Thunderbolts. Next
Thunderbolts.
year.
So that's going to finally have a payoff. But that thing's been going for years.
Yeah.
And I think almost people lost interest. Like, what's going on
Yeah.
with that? So Thunderbolts is actually going to have a payoff.
Yeah.
But a lot of this stuff has not.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I want to look at Deadpool 3, Deadpool and Wolverine,
Yes.
starting a new chapter for the MCU.
I feel like this could be the hard reboot.
Yes.
Like not even like not in like hard reboot as in like totally starting everything from scratch kind of thing, but like a good way to like, all right, we had some issues, whatever the issues were, whatever people think the issues might have been.
Course correct.
This is the way to bring everything back in line.
Yes.
A good way to introduce a new main villain, possibly, so they can get us away from He Who Shall Not Be Named
Right.
and move on.
Also, I think people don't realize, and we've seen this time and time again with Marvel and Star Wars, especially these two franchises. In anything, you're always one good or bad movie away from public opinion.
Yes.
So if you put one bad movie, it's dead, it's over. But then you put out one good movie and everybody's happy. So if they can just, they need
Or you're Sony, you just put out bad movie after bad movie after bad movie.
We'll
after
get
bad
into that.
movie.
We'll get into that. The MCU just needs to have bring back that good track record. So Deadpool 3 has got it. We know it's going to nail it. But the next one in 2025 It's got to be good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's got to be hit
Thunderbolts
after
has
hit.
got to you got to get
Yes.
get back on the contact. You got to start making contact again.
You can't. The thing is,
They've been in a slump.
this past
This
year,
happens in baseball all the time. You get
Yes.
a batter, he's really good.
it's a rebuilding year.
He starts getting a little into his own,
It's a rebuilding year.
headlines, gets into a bit of a slump. All you need to do is take a step back, refine your center, refine your swing again.
Yes.
You start making contact, starting home runs again. Everyone forgets about
Yes.
all the bad times.
Yes. It's just got to be
In 10,
consistent.
15 years, this will just be like, oh, there's a couple movies that didn't work out.
Right. Totally. I agree.
But we live in the now where people are like, what the hell's going on?
We
with
live in
Sony.
the world of. Well, hold on. We'll talk about Sony in a minute. Anyway, I love the casting.
Yes.
I loved how they did it.
Yeah.
I think this
It was a very inventive, it was a very old Marvel kind of way of doing things.
Yes.
Which is cool.
I loved how it wasn't a blog post. Just social media, one photo with them drawn as a
You don't have
Fantastic
to you don't have to get all, you don't have to make it a big deal.
Yes.
It's kind of just a little
It was subtle.
Francia news drop, and then you move on.
You just do the Francia drop.
You just do the
No
Francia drop.
context, you just
There's
drop
no
it.
context, just drop a random Valentine
Yeah.
with photos of people on it, and then just move on with your life.
Yes. It was perfect.
And then don't say anything about it afterwards. Don't give no context or
Right.
information.
Totally.
Make the rest of everyone else try to figure out what the heck this means and why are you talking about this, and you just move on.
So I will say, in 2024, the year of our Lord, that I will give the MCU. This is a win of how I liked how they did this.
Yes.
And I'm even more excited for Deadpool 3. I am hyped.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Deadpool, but I am hyped for this movie. And this announcement just got me even more excited
I've got to
So.
the point with Deadpool and Wolverine.
that you
Where
made
I've-
all your Facebook stuff.
Yeah, well, I didn't have a Facebook picture, and I wanted to change my Facebook picture. I don't have any new pictures of myself.
So you turned it into Deadpool.
So
Wolverine.
there was that really cool photo.
I know, that's great.
Of Wolverine's claws in the shadow of Deadpool, and I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. Then I'm like, well, if I'm changing my Facebook
You went
profile
all
picture,
in. You went all in.
I'm gonna change my profile, my cover picture.
Yes, you did.
And I just figured, well, I couldn't find anything else. So I was like, oh, this looks cool. There. Now I'm good till July. I don't have to worry about my Facebook
And
stuff.
I will
till
correct
July.
myself. I will give the MCU has 2 wins under its belt this year: the Deadpool teaser and this.
Yes.
In my opinion,
Yeah.
these are 2 big wins for them.
Yeah.
I think this is good. This
Yeah.
is a good start. It's a new beginning. I
Yeah.
think. I'm very excited.
Yeah. Now, if only they could rope in Sony and get them to figure out what the heck
Let's
they're
move
doing.
on to Madam Web, shall we?
What went wrong
Or hold on.
is the first question.
Let me read you some stuff and we'll discuss.
How do you put out a movie
Hold on.
and your only competition is a Bob Marley biopic
Hold on.
and you lose to the Bob Marley biopic?
Because Bob Marley is way better than Madam
Well,
Web.
it's a very good movie.
I'm a huge
not saying
Bob-
it's
I
not
like Bob
I'm
Marley.
not saying I don't want to see it, but it's kind of like you should easily have beaten that movie,
Wow.
and you only made $18 million.
Hold on. I got information for you.
Patrick Mahomes makes more playing one season of football than Madam Web made in its debut weekend.
IGN put an article out, and this is very interesting. Madam Web hits record low for Sony Spider-Man movies at the box office. It's the first Marvel-based movie to not open at number 1 in nearly a decade.
Yeah,
This is a new low.
yeah.
And this is Sony Spider-Verse stuff that this movie is not connected to anything.
No,
I've watched
they
the
mentioned
reviews.
Spider-Man once in the whole movie.
No. I don't know if they do or
And
not.
it's not even verbally. I think there's like a picture on a newspaper.
No, Spider-Man's not existent. You know why? Because Uncle Ben, is Adam Scott plays Uncle Ben, and they mention they have a baby, or their niece or somebody's having the baby, which would be Peter Parker. It takes place in the 90s or the 2000s or something, early 2000s or 90s or something, and Ben Parker they
Who thought this was a good idea?
they mention the baby, and there's a baby shower scene. That would have been Peter Parker's baby shower. This movie is a prequel.
How'd this movie get made?
Nobody knows.
There needs to be like
AI wrote it. I don't know.
not like being serious. How does this movie get to the point where everyone's like, you know what we should do?
I know.
We should make a movie in the Spider-Man universe where we don't ever mention Spider-Man. And we'll make this movie 20 years before Spider-Man's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
One, and I'll never, and all the characters who are in this movie are going to play these other Spider characters.
And guess what?
And they're never going to actually be the Spider characters. It's going to be one dream sequence for 5 seconds.
It's a flash forward kind of sequence.
And you only see them wear the costume once.
They
in
kill
an hour and a half movie.
They kill the villain that he's going in the past to kill them because they're going to kill him in the future. It's a Terminator 2 thing.
Yes.
So they show the scene where they beat him up and they kill him, and that's it for them to be in costumes. Yeah. Nobody
ends up becoming who they're supposed to be.
Yes, they're teenage girls.
And they're all released to the wild.
Madam Web is trying to save them throughout the whole film.
Yes.
And
she never dons the Madam Web costume, I don't think, either.
From my knowledge, I heard there's like maybe one little action sequence at the end, and that's about it.
Yeah.
The whole movie's them trying to escape.
Yeah.
And it's bad.
How did this movie get made?
Well, I asked that question too, because the same people who wrote Mobius. It's Bobian time.
It's Moby time. It's mobbing time.
They're the same guys who wrote it, and that movie got panned. So why are they like, why you need to write Madam Web?
Why did you just let them just do this movie?
I don't know. It makes no sense.
And why does Sony think these are good ideas?
I don't know.
Are they just making movies to make movies?
I kind of
feel we have to make a certain amount of Spider-Man movies. I think what it boils down to, and I'm not sure if this is true or not. I could just be making this up, so don't really hold any grain of salt to it or anything. But are they just making these movies because they have to make a certain amount of Spider-Man movies, or they lose the license?
No, because because Spider-Man, they're still doing Spider-Man 4 with Kevin Feige, but
I thought that was part of I thought that was in their contract.
No, they want to build their own little universe.
Like if they don't make a certain amount of Spider-Man themed movies within a certain time frame, they lose the rights to the character.
That was back when they did Tobey Maguire, and those movies ended. Then they're like, okay, now we have to make another Spider-Man movie. They did the Andrew Garfield stuff.
Yeah.
Then that ended, and they're like, that didn't do very well. And then they finally partnered with Disney.
Marvel. Yeah.
At the time, I think there is a truth in what you're saying. Is I think back then it was like, well, there's a certain amount of time they have to make this, or they could lose the license. They have to do something with it.
Yeah.
They are doing stuff with Spider-Man because the animated stuff is amazing. They were putting out the animated movies, and those are the best stuff. These, I think they were trying to build something that is just not
I know at
working.
one point they were doing the Sinister Six scenario. That's what they were going to do.
That got scrapped.
And that got poo-pooed after, because Michael Keaton was Vulture.
He showed up at the end of Morbius.
He was trying to recruit him to join his squad or whatever.
Which, yet again, nothing happened.
Well, because I think that didn't, because Mobius was so bad. They're
right.
Like, well, we can't do
and
that now.
I think after this, we only have Craven at the end of the year.
If Craven's bad, does they just scrap this completely? Does any movies that were in production or in the process of being produced?
I think so.
Just been told, what, we're not, if I was Marvel, you got to just pull the plug on this.
I think they rethink it.
Hey.
And just stick. The thing is, what they need to do is stop making movies that were made back in the 90s. These movies, a lot of people have said these movies feel like they're very of that time period. They need to move on. They need to make something current. They need some talent behind these movies.
Is there also the thing of, in these movies and all these Sony movies are in association with Marvel, in the fact that they own the rights to these characters. That's the extent of Marvel's association with these movies.
Yes, they own Spider-Man and a bunch of Spider-Man
but I'm
characters.
saying, but that's the extent of Marvel being involved in producing these movies.
Well, yeah.
If I was Marvel,
Marvel can't do anything. They bought.
No,
them.
I know, but if I was Marvel, sooner or later, this is going to start affecting the bigger Spider-Man stuff.
I don't think
people
so.
are at one point. If you keep putting these bad movies out, it's going to affect something.
Spider-Man and Batman
Especially
are two of the
if
biggest
anything,
IPs
it's gonna affect
in the world.
People are going to see at the front of these movies the Marvel logo. It's going to dent your stuff a little bit.
I don't know.
Right to the point, like you figure like someone's got to step in from somewhere and be like, "Hey guys, we need to like figure this out because this is bad."
No, I agree with you. I think if this is bombed, and it's good it bombed, because people have to vote with their wallets. And then I think they have to rethink everything. Craven comes out, and if that's bad, I think they have to say, listen, maybe we stop with this live action nonsense and just stick with the animation, which they're knocking out of the park. Or, you know what? Maybe we should just work with Disney more on this and not worry about this building.
Or if you're Disney, do you just be like, we're buying Spider-Man back from you?
They can't forcefully buy anything back from them. They own it. You know what I'm saying? I can't
You can buy the rights back.
No, they can't. They have to sell the rights back. You can't just
but
buy.
you can-
I can't just walk to your house and buy your car from you and drive away, right? That's how it works.
Who knows? Have you been in in the world nowadays?
You know what I'm saying?
Countries are walking into other countries and being like, "I'm taking you over."
Sony,
okay.
Obviously,
I guess that's how things are nowadays.
Spider-Man is very beloved character in pop culture. Those movies do very well. They are doing really well with the animation. Okay, we can't deny that. They are well produced, well done. There's talent. The problem with these movies, they're not getting the talent. They're just pooping them out at this point. They're just pooping them out.
There's talent in these movies. Like there's actresses that are very
But
popular.
they don't write them. What I'm saying is the writers and the directors are not talented people.
It's just like,
no offense, they're not. They wrote Morbius.
but you figure like it's got to filter upwards. I'm saying it's like someone higher up in Sony has got to finally like take the bullet for this.
Yes, I agree.
It's not like it's just like these movies are being greenlit by somebody.
They knew this movie was bad because they didn't put they didn't allow reviews to go out till the day before. And 100.
I mean, they're not the only ones that knew this movie was bad. Everyone knew this movie was bad.
This is why I'm
From
not
the first time we saw the trailer,
we knew it was bad.
this movie was bad.
Yeah. We knew it was bad.
Dakota Johnson has no emotional inflection whatsoever in anything in this movie.
Yeah.
And even worse, she has no like inflection of emotion in any of the interviews she's been in about this movie.
Oh no, I disagree. The interview she did was very
She's
funny.
like, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know who these people are.
She was really funny when they were saying, "Can you name all the Tom Holland movies?" And she was just laughing and like, I think she's great. It just sucks that this movie.
Then where's that
it's a
personality?
paycheck. It's a paycheck, I guess.
I guess
these people just got a paycheck. I don't know. My opinion is, at this point, I don't even pay attention to these movies anymore when it comes to non-MCU movies.
It's just sad state of affairs, though. It's like you figure you'd like sooner or later.
I know.
It's something gonna happen here.
I think this is gonna be it for them. They're gonna rethink Craven.
Because these make the DCU look good.
They could. I mean, I like some of the DCEU movies more than I like the Sony movies. The only non-Spider-Man Sony movie I've seen and I enjoyed was the first Venom.
So our producer just sent me an article from IMDb entitled "Who's Gonna Tell Her?" Fans feel sorry for Sydney Sweeney, who believes she is already in the MCU with Madam Web. So she thinks, and she's, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, producer, that she thinks because she was in Madam Web that her character is now in the MCU.
I don't know.
That's what I'm being told.
That's what we think. We're assuming.
That's what the article is saying. That in an interview, she acts like, and she's saying that she thinks, and she's posted that she's now going to be in MCU movies because she's winning this Madam Web movie.
You know what? Not my business. If that's true, it's very funny. I did watch Dakota Johnson on SNL, and I thought she was great. It was an okay episode, but overall, I thought she was really funny. And I like how she doesn't really take
in the couple little scenes I've
seriously.
seen from this movie, I've seen Wood that has more personality in it than this movie does.
Well, yeah, I agree.
Painful.
Did I tell you that Adam Scott plays Ben?
Yes,
Uncle Ben?
You did. I feel bad that Adam Scott was in this movie because I like Adam Scott.
Me too.
I feel bad for him that he actually is now associated with this movie. Luckily, he was only in it for a little bit at the beginning.
Unfortunately, I really think this movie was a paycheck for a lot of them. I think they've had to known it was bad, or a lot of rewrites happened.
Or there's the other half of it, where, let's be honest, they could also just think that they're in a good movie and they're really wrong about it.
Maybe. There was rumors.
Because they just might not be smart people.
Hold on. There was rumors, which I don't know how much this is true.
If you tell me that the director's cut is better, I'm going to punch you in the face.
No, there was rumors that it was supposed to tie into the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. And that was scrapped. That's a rumor. Don't know how much truth that is. Don't know.
Because what, he would have been like 12 during this movie? He'd have been baby Spider-Man?
That's what I'm telling you. He was born in this movie. They have a baby shower for
So they're
Peter
saying
Parker.
that Adam Scott is Andrew Garfield's
Uncle
Ben.
Uncle Ben. That's what I'm telling you. He's playing Uncle Ben.
I know, but you didn't say which character.
How many Uncle Bens do you know?
But there's 3 Uncle Bens.
There's no 3 Uncle Bens.
Well, from the story, from the universes, there's 3 Uncle Bens. There's Tom Holland's Uncle Ben. There's Tobey Maguire's Uncle Ben.
You know.
There's Andrew Garfield's
Oh
Uncle
my God!
Ben.
Stop. You know exactly what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying, but
He's
in
playing
the story,
Uncle
I'm
Ben.
saying which Uncle Ben is it? That's what I'm saying.
The Andrew.
If you're
Garfield.
saying it was attached to the Andrew Garfield one, then it would have been his Uncle Ben.
Yes,
That's all I'm saying.
that's what I'm telling you.
It's not the old guy from the Tobey Maguire one,
No,
and it's not Peter Holland's Uncle Ben.
that's the rumor. It's a rumor.
So that's all I'm saying. So there's technically 3 Uncle Bens.
All right. I got what you're saying. I'm looking it up.
Multiple universes.
I'm telling you. Adam Scott plays Ben Parker.
I'm
And
not arguing that part of it.
Emma Roberts played Mary Parker.
Okay.
So there you go. They would have been in the movie.
So she plays Aunt May.
Yep. She plays Aunt May.
Is that what May's short for? Mary?
Mary, yeah. Aunt May.
Why don't you just call her Aunt Mary?
Aunt May rolls off the tongue easier.
It's not the same, Josh is saying.
What are you talking about?
He's saying something. He's
Aunt May.
verbalizing.
Yes.
He said,
Oh, I can't hear what he's saying.
he said Ben Parker and Mary Parker are married, and Aunt May is their daughter. Ben Parker.
Ben Parker
Aunt May.
and Mary Parker are married.
This is why we get you a
They've
microphone.
always been
We gotta
married.
get you a
They've been
microphone so
married
that way
in
we can
all
hear what you're talking
iterations.
about, so you can chime in.
Aunt May loses her.
Use the voice of God. The voice of God works in there, doesn't it? I don't. We'll figure this out some other time. He's just doing hand gestures, and I can't understand what he's saying. He doesn't realize he's behind a soundproof window, and it's just hand gestures and
Mary
him
Parker
yelling
and
at
Ben
it.
Parker are married.
Yes.
Ben dies. Aunt
Yes.
May survives.
Yes.
Okay. And all the iterations of Spider-Man. That's usually what happens.
That's not Aunt May, Josh is saying. It's a different aunt in the stories.
I'm going to look this
You
up.
guys can talk about this later.
No,
It
we
really
gotta
doesn't
to
matter.
figure this out.
This is really not to the
Mary-
point. Why don't you just call me, Josh? I can put you on speakerphone.
Parker and Ben Parker.
It's so much easier. Here, we'll just do this. I'm just going to call him. It's easier. So you can explain this.
Oh, here we go.
Hold on.
May is not married.
All right.
Okay.
Ben is the husband of May Parker,
Yes.
as
Right.
well as the brother-in-law of Mary Parker.
Ah.
Ben and May Parker
So May
later
and Mary are
took
sisters.
guardianship of Mary's son Peter.
So Emma is not May. Emma is his mom.
Peter's mom. Okay.
Gotcha.
That makes sense. All right. I thought.
That's what she-
Okay.
Gotcha. Totally.
Okay.
I'm wrong. I misconstrued.
Okay.
All right.
Glad we got that figured out.
All right.
For a
so
movie that no one's going to watch.
Emma Roberts plays Peter Parker's
I
mom.
think this is probably the most anyone's talked about Madam Web. It's plot lines and story.
why are we
than
doing this?
even the people who wrote and directed.
Yeah, they didn't care. Why
Madam
do we,
Web.
Why do we care so much, Mark? I was wrong. I sorry. I thought Aunt May was short for Mary. So
That's what I was saying. It seems like that'd be a waste
right.
of one letter. It's like you could just say one more letter.
Yeah, you're right. I was totally wrong.
So it's just May and May.
But-
May and Mary are the sisters' names.
Okay, so in this movie, I know from watching a review that Mary is pregnant with Peter, and there's a baby shower scene. That
Gotcha.
would be Peter Parker's
Got
baby
it.
shower.
Cool. Was it Spider-Man themed?
No, I think it was Pepsi themed because I heard Pepsi was a big sponsor.
themed?
It was blue and
Crystal
white.
Pepsi?
Crystal Pepsi. It's Crystal Pepsi themed. Madam Web, sponsored by Pepsi. Google that. I'm telling you, everybody. Madam Web Pepsi. The final
Is that
scene.
the Kodak from Man of Steel?
Yeah, the final scene takes place
Sears?
under a Pepsi sign.
IHOP?
Superman with Marlboro, the Marlboro
IHOP, remember?
truck.
There was the Man of Steel.
Oh, Man of Steel had a lot of
IHOP, Sears,
Sears.
Kodak was right. The camera was pointing right there. The logo was
Yeah,
right
they had
there.
a lot of it.
Kmart, remember that Kmart?
Mm-hmm. A lot of
It was bad.
it.
It was almost Wayne's World bad.
Well, that was on purpose.
Yeah. I'm saying it was like almost that obvious.
Comical.
Yes.
Madam Web on IMDb, it's a 3.8 out of a 10.
I mean, that's high
That's
for that movie.
talking about. That's high. It's
I would thought maybe like a 2. I'm surprised it's at a 3.8. That's almost a 4.
Wow. Ones are 37%. Tens are 7%.
Who are giving the 10? It must be people or bots that Sony paid for or something.
I don't know, but ones.
Sony employees. The guy who wrote it and the director are the 10s.
Yes, I'm a.
And Dakota Johnson.
Dakota
put a 10
Johnson.
because she thinks that she's in that movie.
Well, she is in the movie, but
She didn't realize it just now.
it's an AI. Anyway, we've discussed Madam Web for too long. Anyway, I agree, Mark. Let's hope that either something happens, and I'm glad it didn't do well because I think it needs to be. Sony needs to realize these movies aren't working.
Yeah.
Now, I know Venom 3 is in production,
Yes.
and we know Craven's coming out at the end of the year.
Yes. With Aaron Johnston.
And Craven is rated R. So
That means it's going to be gory and bad.
yeah, you're right.
They'll just have dirty words and murder and bad acting.
Yeah, we'll see where this goes.
I mean, not for nothing. Aaron Johnson.
He's a good actor.
I mean, is he though?
I think so. I think he's fantastic and kick-ass.
Well, yeah, but that was like the last thing he was good in. And that was a long time ago.
He was
okay as Quicksilver.
He was Quicksilver. He was
He
good.
was all right in Godzilla.
He was okay in Godzilla.
I mean, he's never been anything like...
He was in Bullet Train. He was really good in Bullet Train.
Yeah.
I liked him in Bullet Train. I think he's a good
It
actor.
wasn't his movie, though.
No, but his character was
Yeah.
good. The henchman there was good.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see.
We'll see. Not holding out hope or anything. Not like I'm
no.
going to see it or anything, so who cares?
Yeah. Why did we waste so much? Anyway.
You wanted to waste all this time on it.
I-
You were very amped
Stop!
about it. You
No,
wanted,
I
you're like,
didn't.
I want to talk about Madam Web.
No, we were talking about the state of
I'm very
Sony
excited to
and
talk
these
about Madam
movies.
Web.
That's all.
I can't wait to see it.
Don't be Yes.
Surprised you haven't seen it twice already.
I'm not going to see it at all. Unlike some of our friends who were like, I got to see it for Sydney Sweetie. And I'm like, why?
She doesn't show her boobs in it. Who cares?
Wow. Mark.
Supposedly that's what everyone cares
Jeez.
about. That's what that person cares about.
Wow.
I don't even know who she is.
Marker.
No, I just don't know who she is. I don't know who she is. Who is she in the movie?
She's an actress.
Well, I know she's the actress,
Was a high school kid?
but which person is she in the movie?
I don't know. I don't know.
Who is she though in general? I honestly couldn't. If you held a gun to my head right now and asked me to point out Sydney Sweeney in a lineup, I wouldn't know who that was.
She's an actress that's in this movie. She's in Euphoria. From what I
And the
was
only reason
told.
I know who she is, like
Because our
visual wise,
friend-
is because he posted a photo of her in the chat.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
That's
I don't.
about it,
I wouldn't. Before that, I had no idea who she was.
Right. She is kind of the it girl right now. But
People talk. Like I hear her talked about all the time, and I'm like, I couldn't tell you one movie she's been in or anything that she's done.
Euphoria, this movie.
It just made me feel like I'm old, and I don't know who people are.
There's a rom-com out with her in it right now too.
Okay,
There you go.
sure,
There you go.
good for her.
There you go.
I'm happy for her success.
I can tell. Let's move on. You just want to keep you and Sydney Sweeney. That's all you want to talk about.
I don't know who she is.
We're dedicated.
I don't know why he's so excited about it.
We are dedicating
I don't
this
know why he's so
episode.
amped about it.
Episode to you, Sydney Sweeney.
I don't know why he was so amped about it on the chat. I was like, why are you so enthralled in this?
I don't know. Anyway,
I don't base my liking of things around stuff like that.
next
That's
week
why.
we'll be back. We'll do it on Tuesday again.
All right.
I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about.
That's a catchphrase of our show. It's going to say Geekonomics, the Rebel Podcast. We do it on Tuesdays.
Do it on Tuesday.
Do it on Tuesday.
We're gonna go live.
We're gonna do it on Tuesday.
Oh,
Save it for
God.
Tuesday.
Man, imagine if we did the show live on YouTube.
No one would watch it, just like they don't watch it now.
They do watch it. We could.
We can go live. I have ways to make it happen.
Ooh, we could do live on YouTube.
We can do live to Facebook.
No, YouTube.
Well, I have ways to do it Facebook too. Just
I'd rather use because we have our YouTube page. Yeah, speaking of our YouTube page, please subscribe and like. Our
like and
YouTube
subscribe.
page.
I put things on the show and everything.
I
that say
see.
that. and
It's very
everything.
nice.
Just
Thank you.
no one ever does it.
Well, you don't know.
The numbers aren't going up, so I know no one's doing it.
Well, our audio, we get more audio listeners
Yes.
than video listeners.
And we appreciate that. And we appreciate you spending time with us while we discuss randomness,
Yes.
like who Sydney Sweeney is.
And Bobby. Thank you, Bobby. For
Thanks,
listening.
Bobby. Through rain, no sleet, no freezing rain, Bobby listens to our podcast.
While delivering the mail.
Why was I going to throw that in there? I wasn't going to put him on the spot there,
Put him on the
Blow up
spot.
his spot, as the kids would say.
Well, we just wished him happy Postal Day a couple of weeks
It was
ago.
Postal Person
Postal
Appreciation
Awareness
Day.
Day.
Post Person Appreciation Day
Don't-
on a Sunday.
Don't run over your post office guy. All right, we should wrap it up.
Why'd you run over a postal guy?
I don't know.
Why are you putting that out there?
Post Office Awareness Day.
What is going on with this?
I
Show's
don't
going
know.
off the
We're-
rails.
we're-
This show's a bullet train.
You know what? This show is a Madam Web.
This is the Madam Web episode
Madam Web.
of podcasts.
Madam Web.
This is what happens when there's nothing going on. We're just like making up things to talk about.
Can they do?
I'm sure there's stuff going on.
Can
we
we-
just don't pay attention.
Can we
to.
get a Madam Web edition of this movie called Madame Web? So
It's a
anytime
French
they say
version?
Madam Web, they gotta go Madame Web.
It's a French version. Do they even call her Madam Web in the movie?
Probably not. I think at the end
We're talking about this movie like we actually have anything
Listen,
to
this
care
is
about
how
it.
I know the movie ends.
Putting more time into talking about this movie than we've talked about probably any other movie this year.
Hold on.
that we've
Dakota
actually
Johnson looks directly to the camera and she goes, "I am now Madam Web."
No, she looks
And then
into
it just goes,
no.
"Wah!"
She
and
looks
it
into the
ends.
screen and goes, "Who's Madam Web?" And then it just goes black.
Yeah.
Because that's how her acting is. It's very, hey. And that's the extent of her emotional range.
All right. Let's wrap this up. Madam Web.
The Kristen Stewart of our generation, Dakota Johnson.
Kristen Stewart's really good.
Is
I
she, though?
disagree with you on that one. She's a really good actress.
Name a good movie she's been in. Besides Twilight, which you love so much.
How did you know?
What is going on with this show? We have to come up with ideas.
think
We got to
I'm
come up with more better
I'm wearing my
topics.
Twilight.
We're going to come up with topics next
Underoos
week. Next
today.
week we'll have topics. We swear we're going to come up with something.
We had topics today.
Hopefully something happens that we can talk about because God, we need information. We need something better
This
than
is a good show. We did
better
a lot.
than the Fantastic Four random announcement of cast people and the Madam Web movie.
Madame Web.
Hopefully something better happens next week
All right.
that we can talk about because
We'll be back next week. Let's wrap it up.
Whew, this was a tough one. All right, as
All
always, be safe,
Be sorry.
be well, be kind. Do something nice for somebody. Invite them to Madam Web.
It's
we'll see you
Madam
all
Web
next
time.
week. It's webbing time.
Webbing time.
And we'll see you next week, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Madam Web time.
Good night, Tokyo.
Good night, Madam Web.
Nice meeting you, Sydney Sweeney.